Welcome, Virgo, to your in-depth weekly astrology overview and zodiac forecast for week commencing the 18th of May for the ascendant, the sun, or the moon. Going to share the big themes of the week, first of all, then on screen your event chart on Monday, always influential as a backdrop. I'll then go through each of the influences frame by frame to give you a clear picture of what you can expect in terms of energy, work, relationships, and finances. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundel. A very warm welcome. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so now to help it to continue to thrive. But please also click or tap the bell notification symbol. If you recall last week, Virgo, we had a super new moon in your fellow Earth sign of Taurus. Taurus energy can be very stable, but for you, the ninth house is very much about how you can expand your life and be more spontaneous. But attached to that new moon was your ruler Mercury. So your mind may have been particularly agile as we enter this week, perhaps giving you lots of different thoughts and options about some of the things you can do. But on Monday, Mars, the planet of action and drive, moves into the same area as the sun and is going to give you even more determination to shake things up. And if there is something in your situation you're not enjoying, it's going to make you something of a freedom seeker over the following 6 weeks. But on Tuesday, Venus, the relator, but also the planet of finance, moves into the friendliest part of your chart for the following 4 weeks, but does forge a quite beautiful link to Mars. I will unpack that for you too. Now, by Thursday, the sun moves out of Taurus and into Gemini. Gemini is an air sign. It's about communication. But for you, it's about your connection to the world. And the sun meets with Uranus exactly on Friday. So you can find your mind is sparkling with different possibilities. But if you're not enjoying your job, that arrival of Mars in your ninth house can give you more confidence to look around at alternatives. So on the screen now is your event chart. And there's the sun coming to the end of its time in the sign of Taurus, and Mars will move to join it later on Monday. This is at midnight. But just to say, Mars and Venus in an absolutely wonderful sextile in those two signs, even though they're about to both move. And this collective at the top of your chart includes your ruler, Mercury, and the moon. The chances are, if you are having a conversation about your work or about anything to do with technology, if you are someone who wants to raise your profile, your mind can be so fertile as we go into this week. It's truly exciting. But with Mars moving into the ninth house and Venus into the 11th on Monday and Tuesday, and then they forge in a beautiful link on Tuesday, if you do have connections with people, those connections can turn out to be very powerful for you. Now, it may be that you're going to think about planning an overseas holiday, going away with a group of people. Any kind of group dynamic can call out to you, but with this 10th house energy, I feel that you will need to be very much in the mix. You won't want to play a passive role. You'll want to be at the heart of things. Now, of course, we do have by Thursday the sun moving into Gemini 2, meeting up with Uranus for the first time in 78 years. And that brings us back to that point. If you're not enjoying your job, because as Mercury moves towards this week, it's going to come into a sextile with Pluto. And Pluto, as I've been saying to you for a while, slowly but surely be making you more conscious that something around your routines may need to evolve. And if you have an interview this week or do a presentation, the chances are you can come across in a really sparkling and effervescent way and make quite the impact. So that's truly exciting. But the quarter moon, which occurs in your sign as this week draws to a close, could give you a bit of a conflict because, as much as there may be a chance to seize a prize professionally, it may mean that you have to bend into the expectations of a potential employer or customer. and it might not quite feel right. So you could find yourself a little unsure about what to do, and everything's going so quickly this week. The best thing I think you might consider is just to step back and take a little bit of a breath. But if there is someone you know who's very experienced, particularly or knows you very well, do reach out to them and get their support as this week draws to a close. I'm going to summarize those 4 areas of energy, work, relationships, and finances next, Virgo. But you can order your personal horoscopes and you get 3 for the price of 1. I've slashed the prices. You pay for your life roadmap report, chances to understand the patterns that are playing out in our lives so far, but get a more intimate understanding of them and working with those energies better future forwards. You get free your 12 months transit forecast, but also your draconic soul karmic analysis. That's 3 for the price of 1. Why? Well, natal astrology really helps us to illuminate our journey through this life. I'm truly passionate about it, and I hope you will be too. So if you've yet to watch your Uranus 78-year solar return Kazemi video, please see that on the screen. If you've yet to watch your monthly forecast for May, please see that on the screen. If you'd like to work with me one-to-one, pleasure, please see my testimonials below. And if you've yet to take advantage of my free daily written horoscope fired to your device each morning for your early day celestial pit stop, please see that below too. So to summarize, as far as energy is concerned, I think you're going to have a lot of nervous energy this week. And one of the things with nervous energy is if we don't burn it off, it can lead us feeling a bit overstimulated. So do watch that adrenal energy. And if you can separate yourself and your device a good hour or so before you go to bed, you'll be doing way better than me. But we all know that's the advice. But if you can get some rest, it's important, but particularly rest around stimulation, because I think life is going to get very exciting for you. When it comes to your romantic situation, I feel that Mars is linked to Venus on Tuesday is particularly significant. Now, if you are in a long-standing relationship and you're pretty devoted to each other, you should book a holiday with that aspect. It really will help to reinvigorate the tie. If you'd like to meet someone, don't underestimate. You could do so through your work in the weeks to come. But talking of work, I do feel that this is a time when things are changing. If you're open to that, you're going to do well. If you're wanting to stick with something you've known for a very long time, the planets are really pushing you to look around and see what the options are, because suddenly that role or situation could change, not because you want it to, but just because technology is becoming such a big thing. But if you're in a tight or a relationship professionally, you're really not enjoying your determination to break free, do something different, whether it's for yourself or move to someone else to work for, is going to be extremely strong. When it comes to relationships, if you are single and you'd like to meet someone, I think that Venus moving into the 11th house suggests over the next month there are going to be lots of social opportunities for you. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been a real pleasure. All the best and look forward to seeing you again soon.